even know where to start. The only thing that keeps running through my mind is how I live in this bubble, this society, it feels like, that are just constantly challenging me, constantly seeing how far they can push shit before I push back. And then when I do, I'm seen as hostile or always looking for a fight. But the truth of the matter is, like, you read these books, or I read these psychology books trying to understand this shit, and it's, people always try to test, like, how far they can push you, or how much they can get away, with you. And so, in my mind, I'm putting up boundaries. I'm pushing back, I'm saying, hey, I'm not okay with that, or whatever. But then people weaponize me putting up boundaries by saying, oh, you're being hostile or confrontational. Manipulation at its finest. And it's so widespread. It's so many people in my life have done it. Family, friends, lovers, fucking coworkers, I mean, you name it. It's really just left me isolated. It's left me to the point where it's like, who do I trust? Who do I allow to fucking just walk all over me? And like, to some degree, like, you have to. You know what I mean? You got to take the fucking, like, I understand that. But like, on the other hand, like, you also have to fucking stand up for yourself. And maybe I'm just standing up to myself to too many people. In my head, like, too many people are trying to shovel shit on me. And then it affects other relationships, because then it makes other people want to, like, join in. The dogpile effect. I don't know. 2 days ago, I hooked up with a chick. I've been seeing her for like a month and a half, some shit. And we hadn't seen each other in like 3 weeks. We had Christmas vacation, she went on vacation, just missed each other at work, blah blah blah, whatever. And there's a shift in energy, definitely. Something was different. It was felt, not immediately, but shortly thereafter, we first, linked back up. And, but one of the things that she pointed out, or she showed me this TikTok, and there was this TikTok of this dude doing squats. And this guy came up behind him and fucking rammed his finger down to the third knuckle up the guy's ass. Well, the guy was like helpless and couldn't fucking do anything about it. And she thought it was the funniest thing in the world. And in my mind, I'm just like, did that man just sexually assault that guy and you think it's funny? And then she goes, and in my mind, I'm like, how do you not see that? But then in my mind, another thing I can think about is just like how much different shit is. Because like her and I were having a conversation, we're both high as fuck. And one of the things that we're talking about was this hostility shit, like whatever. She's just like we weren't direct about it, but we were fucking beating around the bush, like definitely fucking pulling from our own experiences. And she's like, oh, I just like going through life like where everyone likes me. You know, I want to make sure I'm liked. And I'm like, all I can think about is like, what a privilege that must be that you can fucking do that. You never had to fucking be confrontational or fucking, you know, engage in conflict just to survive, just to fucking have shit. And then like, I gave her a fucking, I gave her a massage, and like, I had her roll in her stomach, and I was massaging her back up to her shoulders, fucking all the, and like, she was just soft as fucking a pillow. And I was like, you have no tension whatsoever. She's like, yeah, I like to be just easygoing. And I'm like, how nice that must be. Like, so much so that, like, she told me when she went to New York City this last weekend, or whenever that was. Yeah, I think it was this last weekend. She's like, I've never been on public transportation before. Like, oh, okay. You see, like, it's so easy for these people just to judge and just to fucking be like, oh, I would never do that, or I can't believe how people go about things or whatever. Like she can't understand why I tick or the way I tick. She has no interest in understanding. Or I think she does, but it's superseded by her needing to conform with the rest of society so she's liked. Which I'm okay with. I get it. But that just further cements my belief. It's like, yeah, well, I have to stand up for myself because no one else will. So we just hung out. I think it's gonna be the last time. We're gonna end things. What the fuck is going on here? But yeah, it just but then I feel that with everyone, like my Christmas, like where I went out for Christmas, like for all this shit, like it just seems like I'm constantly at war with everyone. Damn, this shit's fucked up. Why does it feel that way? But like, I wish I could fucking... I don't know, probably because it's like, well, that's why I have like such a fucking problem with authority. Maybe is that what it is? But then why do like certain people get the idea that they have this fucking authority over me? I think that's what it is. It's like I understand like fucking managers to fucking bosses, all that shit, like I get that. But unless they fucking abuse it, like if they're abusive in fucking their behavior, then I'm not gonna fucking respect it. They're going outside the scope. They're doing it just because they have a little bit of power, then they stretch it to all these different things. I'm like, that ain't fucking right. But other people, like, they're like, oh, just go along with it. It's fine. I'm like, imagine if, like, you're a server and your manager's like, hey, I want a tip out. Give me some money. You'd be like, no, fuck you. Well, now you're being confrontational. You're not just going along with things, and now this person's not going to like you because you didn't do what they said. See, that's how you get taken advantage of. And, like, to me, it's so bloody obvious. Like, how do you not see that? I think they do. They just... But it's just easier to live in that world where it's just like... Oh, okay. It's easier just to let people fucking walk all over you. But then I look at my grandma, and she's that way. She's the type that just lets people walk over. And then I look at her life, and it's not easy. She constantly has drama in her life. She constantly has fucking things going on. She constantly has fucking all these issues. Not necessarily with her, because she is peaceful and she is fucking easygoing. But because she allows all this shit to go on, people take advantage of it and walk all over her and fucking infiltrate her peace and bring with them all this fucking drama and shit and headache, and now it's hers too. Whereas me, like, if I just fucking nip it in the bud, like, immediately, like, I ain't putting up with that shit. I don't have to deal with any of that. But again, that's seen as, oh, you're hostile, you're confrontational here. Nah, it's more like, I don't want any problems, but if someone wants a problem, no problem. Like, it's just harder for me to believe that someone, well, not so much, but like, someone can just grow up and everything's just handed to them, everything's easy, everything's fucking, never had to go through any adversity, never, you know. Another thing she told me, she's like, yeah, I got this, she had a flat tire and the car got towed to her, the shop, and the shop just put a new tire on it and gave her car back the next day. And she's sitting there thinking like, oh, it was so easy, like I think I had a warranty, and like they just gave me a new tire. It was very simple. But the truth is, her fucking, she still lives with her parents. She's only 19 years old. And they paid for it. But she didn't have to fucking see any of that. She didn't have to fucking deal with any of that. She is still very much a child. Ugh. So how can I expect her to understand me? I can't. Not at all. What's the point in trying? Zilch. All I can do is move on. That's why I said I'm going to end things with her. But it's not like it's exclusive just because she lives with her mom. Or because she's 19 or, you know, whatever. I know so many people that are so dependent and have people do things for them. They don't understand what it takes when you have to do things yourself. I think that's what it boils down to. When you're so used to having everything done for you, I don't know. So after this little thing, I feel better because that's got to be what it is. Unless someone can prove me wrong. Like, I am open-minded. Someone please fucking correct me or fucking sprinkle me with a little knowledge, whatever the fuck. Put me onto something. Because I'm trying to make sense of it, and that's just what makes sense to me. These people are so used to being fucking coddled and fucking spoon-fed and having everything done for them that, like, I'm not. Like, something goes wrong, I gotta fix that shit myself. There is no mommy or daddy or holding hands or fucking safety nets for me. I wouldn't say none, but not to the degree that fucking people have it. Like, I definitely have a couple of fucking phone calls I can make if I'm really in a fucking pinch. But it's crazy how people fucking, like, chastise me for being independent, for being self-sufficient. Like, they see it as a fucking, as a hindrance, as a fault, as a problem. Because I'm not fucking dependent on, like, if I get a flat tire, oh, I need someone to come do it for me or whatever. It's like, no, I gotta fucking do that shit myself. That's weird. But that is the world we live in. I understand it. A lot of people fucking have that privilege. They have that fucking... They have that system. But also in that system, like, I also see the faults, like, where it's like, well, then they have control over you too. They'll help you, but they also have control. That's the thing about independence. It's like, yeah, like, I don't have fucking... I gotta do everything myself, but then I have fucking full control over my life. Or all aspects. These people are willing to forfeit their control, their freedom. I know that word gets thrown around so much, but their ability to make decisions themselves and to fucking not have anyone else influence them or whatever. They forfeit all that for the comfort of support. For the sanctity of the system, and villainize anyone that's outside of it.